What's up, guys? It's Boondocks here. Today I'm going to be showing off what I like to call the running gunning Axton build, and pretty much it focuses around using the interfacers as well as the expertise ability in your skill tree. Now, the reason I use the interfacers, they have a special ability on them that every time you zoom in, you have no movement speed decrease. So because of that, there's no negative side for running around zoomed. And that'll increase your accuracy a little bit, but it's not that important because it's a shotgun. So I have one interfacer for each elemental type, just in case I run into anyone specific. And then, of course, I take a Norfleet. Because of the way I normally run Axton with my Norfleet spam build, I, of course, also have one of each elemental type. And you might want to switch out fire for corrosive if you're going up against a bunch of robots and all that crap. But always have a Norfleet for your second wins, because you never know what could happen. Then I take an antagonist. As you know, I love the antagonist because the recharge time is really low, the capacity is decent, but the main reason I love it is because of the chance to deflect bullets at 50%, doing a pretty decent amount of damage. That increase is quite substantial. It's enough to cause some serious damage to enemies, even at OP8. Then I take damage reduction. The damage reduction on it is also amazing. And then it has that passive chance to slag whenever enemies shoot you. Then I take either Storming Homefront or switch it out for a Pandemic if you're up against a lot of armored targets, or you take a Magic Missile to help slag. Fortunately, we're going to use our turrets to slag most of the time. Then we take the Legendary Soldier Class mod. It gives you the nice cooldown rate, the gun damage, fire rate. It's all around good bonuses there. And then it's the only Legendary Class mod that also has the expertise on it. Plus, some of the other skills also help pretty well. And because we're going to be using interfacers the whole time, take the Hyperion Allegiance Relic just to give you increased damage and better accuracy. So, looking over here at the build, it's kind of straightforward, but really what we're focusing on is the expertise. This build is mostly just for fun, though it can kill just as well as anything else. So with expertise, you get a bonus 70% movement speed while zoomed. Well, normally that wouldn't be all that substantial, other than the fact that you do get to move around a little bit quicker than most. Because interfacers have no decrease to movement speed, well, now you're just getting a plus 70% on top. And that's very effective. I then put 1 point in impact just to get all the bonuses out of it. And then I go down into Metal Storm. Metal Storm gives you the increased fire rate after killing an enemy, so that way you're just unloading interfacer after interfacer into the enemies. Then I take a longbow turret just because it's nice to be able to throw turrets up against walls and far away, so that way the enemies focus them. Because we're going to be trying to have the turrets out as much as possible, I take Battlefront just to increase my overall damage while they're out. Over here in the Gorilla Tree, again, because we're going to have the turrets out to tank for us and slag enemies and so on, we got to get all the way down to the double up for the slag ability. So I put points in the Sentry here, max it out, increase the shots fired per burst and the duration of the turrets themselves. Then also put in 4 points in the Ready. The reason I do this is because the reload speed is always nice. It's the main focus of my Norfleet spam build. Willing just helps recharge your shields whenever they get down. And Able makes it so that you regen health whenever you start hitting enemies, which is going to be pretty often since we're using interfacers. Scorched Earth just gives you your little mini rocket pods to the turrets, causing them to do some increased damage. It's nothing spectacular, but it's always fun to watch. Then we have Onslaught. This way, when you kill an enemy, you gain even more movement speed and gun damage. With this, coupled with expertise and zoomed, you're going to be running like a bat out of hell. And again, double up for the slag. Over here in the survival tree, we're going to increase our max health and our shield capacity just because, well, it's nice to be able to survive longer. This allows you to run around, get in close with your interfacers, and just destroy enemies for the run and gun tactic. These points in forbearance and pressure are interchangeable. You can max out one or the other, or you can put them all into last-ditch effort. It's really your call. I put them in here just to help with survivability a little bit more. I'd actually prefer putting more points in forbearance than I have, just for the increase in health. The Phalanx Shield is always nice for your turrets, lets them survive a little bit longer. And quick charge, whenever you get the kill, your shield will come right back up. I then take maglock to be able to stick my turrets on walls, and that's pretty important because it prevents enemies from being able to just run up and shoot them really easy or hit them to cause them to explode. Lets them tank a little bit longer because enemies will still focus them before you most of the time, even while they're stuck on a wall. Then take resourceful just to increase my cooldown reduction because the turret cooldown time is pretty substantial. And then I take Gemini. I like having 2 turrets out at once. It makes the enemies even that much more focused on them and almost guarantees slag. You can take points out of some of these though and move them elsewhere to increase your overall damage if you so desire, and so on. I definitely don't put any points in a Grenadier because I do use Gibbed, and I made it so that I have a ridiculous quantity of grenades. Right here it's saying 73. So with that, let me go show you how this build works. Here's a good demonstration to start. Just here's your base movement speed. So if I was trying to shoot an enemy, I'd be running around at this speed because you can't shoot while sprinting. But if I zoom in, I move a crap ton faster. Now imagine getting a kill, how fast I'm going to go, which we'll see relatively soon. So until then, let's get some kills.
You don't want to be.
You also empty your clip very fast due to all the upgrades that you take. The funny part is you actually move a shit ton slower when you're reloading. Right there I didn't throw out both my turrets at the start, which is bad because if you don't throw them both out at once, you actually lose one of them. So that's decreased damage, decreased tankiness. It's all around a stupid move that I made. It's not that big of a deal though. One annoying thing is sometimes after you get a kill, you'll be moving so fast it's sometimes hard to get through doors. But I mean, just look how fast you go. It's pretty ridiculous in the grand scheme of things. And because the interfacer does so much damage, it's absolutely nice. It's just a fun build. Obviously, you're not going to be able to kill bosses as easily because you rely more on the whole getting in, getting out. But it's interesting. It's a cool little mechanic that you can pull off as Axton. You feel so much slower too when you stop zooming. It's such a opposite effect than what you're used to. That's part of the fun in it. The turrets will also let you see where enemies are at because they'll shoot at that direction, so all you gotta do is follow it. And there, because I got downed, which will happen in this build, just you have your Norfleet. Axton does ridiculous bonus damage with explosives, even without speccing into it, it seems. Just because he increases the damage of everything he does. So, right there, shredded the shield almost instantly, shredded them almost instantly. Meanwhile, they're trying to still focus my turrets and dying. Oh man, I might go down. Yep, I went down. Not a problem, thanks to my Norfleet. And again, if you're used to using Norfleets a lot, you'll sometimes notice that the big guys won't die instantly with them. Again, Axton is awesome when it comes to doing the bonus damage with Norfleet. Really? I'm having problems on the little guy? Whatever. So you actually run faster when having your gun out as opposed to pretty much any other time. What the hell? How the fuck did that get over there? That's just weird. So again, you use your turrets to slag, and then everything else just kind of falls dead. Oh shit. Don't want to be out in there.
Another turret kill.
Also, as you might notice, once you start getting those kills, your movement speed just goes ridiculous. And that's what happens when I run next to my own grenades like a dumbass. But whatever. Like I said, this build is really just for fun. I mean, obviously my clear speed's going to be pretty quick because I'm using a strong weapon, and you just run really fast to begin with. Of course, this is going to drop off when enemies are at range because you're no longer going to have the ability to hit them as easily with your interfacer. So if enemies are up on top of buildings or something like that, you might run into some issues. But what the hell? There we go. Sitting there wondering what the hell was happening. And put out 2 turrets again. I'll call them towers because, again, I play League of Legends, and turret, tower, it's kind of an interchangeable saying that you use for the main objectives that you try to take in order to push down the lanes. But if you don't play League of Legends, you don't really know what I'm talking about, and I apologize. I know not everyone likes MOBAs. They're definitely a lot different than first-person shooters. And right there, nice and simple. So again, it's just a fun build. It's not the most powerful in the world by any means. It's just interesting. It's also fun when you use this during a team play because your teammates will be behind you laying down cover fire, and you just run in, drop your turrets, and go to town. Flying back and forth between different enemies. You don't even care if you get the kills for the increased movement speed, because as long as you're doing damage, you're going to be healing up a little bit, and you're already moving fast as hell to begin with. So, that's my Axton build. Hope you enjoyed it. Good luck. Have fun. Peace.